Yo, what's good? NBA YouTube. It's your man, 100 Grand, Ross with The Rock Never Stops, coming to you with another episode of NBA Talk. Today, I want to talk to you all about an internal debate that I've had for quite some time now about who is going to end up being the greater player, LaMelo Ball or Tyrese Haliburton. I want to know what y'all think. Feel free to put comments in the comment section or on Instagram at The Rock Never Stops 22. But if you like this video, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and the bell for notifications. And let's go. LaMelo Ball, I've been a fan since the Chino Hills. Big fan of LeVar Ball putting his sons on. As only a great dad can do. Much respect for how he groomed his sons to be respectful, to be team first guys who are great teammates with a high skill level and extremely competitive. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And at the same time, when I look at LaMelo's game, I have to recognize that there's some big holes in his game. As amazingly entertaining as it is, and as fun as it is to watch, as exciting of a player that he lacks some key qualities when it comes to actually producing what it means to win. And we're seeing that with the Charlotte Hornets this season as they've really stumbled down the stretch here. I mean, I know Gordon Hayward has been out, but there's been some things that we've seen in terms of ability to close out games, being able to lock down on defense, execute in the crunch time, and really be able to lead his team to victory. But ironically, these are all things that Tyrese Haliburton does in spades. He does it at a high level. Execution, defense, being able to be trusted in late game situations and put his team in a position to win against just about anybody. Now, whether or not he's had the talent around him to do so or the opportunity with other players in his way down the pecking order, that's debatable. But right now, what we're looking at is two very similar players. When you look at tall, lanky point guards, somewhat unorthodox shooting, but are floor generals who are able to lead teams and produce a high level offense. But when it comes to winning time, that's kind of where you kind of see the difference between players. Not just what they can do, but what they actually do in those moments. Now, LaMelo Ball, he's already been able to get the fans on his side, and he was in the All-Star game. And, I think Pascal Siakam was kind of doing a little bit better. Probably should have been in there instead of him. But, hey, kudos to him for getting in there. He showed he belonged, hit some nice threes, showed some competitive edge amongst the great players he was around. And you could tell he works hard on his game. He's taken a big jump between his rookie season and this sophomore season. And at the same time, we see Tyrese Haliburton finally getting a shot to run his own team in Indiana. He was in the Rising Stars Challenge, and he looked good. He looked real good. And we're kind of wondering what this long-term outcome is going to be. Now that they're in the same conference, we're going to get to see them go head-to-head a whole lot more. And I love this Chris Duarte, Isaiah Jackson, Miles Turner team that they're putting around them. They still got Buddy Hield. But it's a team that he finally gets to have the keys to and run the show. And not have to worry about anybody coming up behind him. I even think when Malcolm Brogdon returns, they're still going to say Tyrese Haliburton is our guy. And that's only going to bode well for his ability to really put his imprint and show what he can do in the NBA. But you know what? These two players remind me of two other players that I grew up watching. Growing up in the Bay Area, we have the Golden State Warriors. And then down south, we have the Lakers and Clippers. But up north, we got the Sacramento Kings. And they had two guards that were very similar in terms of what they brought, but they did it in two different ways. And the first one was Mr. White Chocolate himself, Jason Williams. The man was flashy. The man was entertaining. It's fun to watch. His ability to hit threes from deep, was before his time. He would pull it like we see a Trae Young pulling it today. He had amazing passes. Just things of the greats that you would see through the legs, behind the back. He had one of the most beautiful behind the back passes you'll ever see. But they struggled to win at a high level with him. And having Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic, Doug Christie, Bobby Jackson, as they were putting these teams together, they quickly kind of realized that Jason Williams may not be it. He may not be the answer that they were looking for when it comes to winning. And so they went out and got Mr. Mike Bibby from the Memphis Grizzlies. Mike Bibby, coming out of University of Arizona when it was still one of the great programs in the Pac-10 back then. Mike Bibby was the consummate floor general. He had some flair, but nowhere near Jason Williams. But man, could you trust the ball in his hands. They were able to give this man the ball. Rick Adelman just basically gave him the keys to the offense and said, do what you do. Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, this whole roster got behind him and said, you're our guy. You're our guy. And he brought them some of the most successful seasons that they had in franchise history, being just almost a big shot Robert Horry away from going to the NBA Finals, where the Los Angeles Lakers were just able to edge them out. And so I'm curious what y'all think. LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Haliburton. Who's going to have the better career? Who would you rather have leading your team? Now, I know it's early on. They're 2 seasons in. But I'm kind of interested in this argument. Right now, I'm still open to both. But if I had to choose, I think it's telling that early on in LaMelo's career, they would pull him out during the fourth quarter in crunch time. Whereas Tyrese Haliburton, they couldn't put the ball in his hands enough during crunch time. But y'all let me know what you think. Who's going to have the better career? Who's going to be more reliable? Let me know. Once again, if you like this video, smash that like button, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. You can continue the conversation on Twitter at TheRockNeverStops22, or you can hit me up in the comments section. Till then, I'm going to holla at y'all. Peace.